Do you know what the issue is in society today? With freedom comes responsibility. Women wish to embrace the former while rejecting the idea of being responsible for the freedoms they enjoy. Would any reasonable person willingly let an obnoxious, delusional, hateful leech attach itself to themselves? Men like peaceful lives for the most part. Hit the gym, read a book, go fishing, play golf, and get an old dog from the pound, and you've mastered the art of living a peaceful life, in my honest opinion. Trad wives, or any traditional style of marriage, is based on mutual love and respect for each other. It's helpful to know what your traditional roles are, but that doesn't mean that you can never break those roles once in a while. What we seem to have lost here is respect. Respect for oneself and for others. Critics of traditional roles for women never seem to take into account how it affects men. They bear the burden of financially supporting a family and providing for them. Housing, food, education, taxes, transportation, not to mention house repairs and maintenance of the property. If anyone is a slave in this arrangement, it's the man. But most couples in such a relationship seem to be happy. Anyone who has a problem with traditional wives should reflect on how much or how little their mother was a part of their life growing up, and then see how that affected them in their current state. Was it a good outcome or a bad outcome to have more or less guidance and love? What did their lives and thoughts develop into? It's the same argument for dads in the home. Having good, strong, traditional, well-rounded, attentive, and loving parents is the key to the first step of leading a successful life. I hope I can be at least half the parent mine have been for me growing up. Thankfully, I took notes, but the optimism pool for society is something else. It's always amazing to watch people think other people's decisions and choices have anything to do with them. There's always this element that if you choose something different for yourself, that another person doesn't choose. That other person acts like you're judging them. Women who don't want to be wives will also wonder why they aren't married yet. They are unhappy with their own life choices and are outraged when anyone else finds a dose of happiness. Women who lie to themselves and everyone else will stay alone and try to make everyone else as miserable as they are unless they can change the trend of their lives by the realization that they might be wrong. Women can choose to be less stressed and focus on being a housewife who is involved in building the next generation, or can be creative on how to build the home, or she has to hit their targets at work and work for the rest of their life till she dies. It's what men are doing. Why take away that decision and shame them? It all comes down to their inability to ever be happy, content, satisfied, or grateful. Take one to a restaurant. They can't make simple food choices off a menu, let alone major life choices like deciding to be a traditional mom or career woman. No matter what they order at the restaurant, they like what you have better. So of course they seethe at women who choose differently. They are truly insufferable creatures. The feminist disdain comes from the thought of inevitably having to compete with these women and the value they bring to a relationship or marriage if the traditional wife trend catches on. I've come to the conclusion that this whole traditional wife controversy is only an American problem, so basically, it's a cultural issue because I don't see people of other cultures arguing that being a traditional wife is bad. In fact, it's still a normal thing that the rest of us don't even need to think about. From a psychological perspective, anyone who has a problem with traditional wives should reflect on how much or how little their mother was a part of their life growing up, and then see how that affected them in their current state. Was it a good outcome or a bad outcome to have more or less guidance and love? What did their lives and thoughts develop into? It's the same argument for dads in the home. Having good, strong, traditional, well-rounded, attentive, and loving parents is the key to the first step of leading a successful life. This is part of what happens in the age of social media, where over half the world's population is online on all kinds of devices and platforms, all voicing their individual opinions on every single topic. Literally, billions of opinions and variations of all those opinions. The comments are so crazy, it's just crazy. Traditional wives come from traditional households, where they are raised to be wives and mothers, where you have both parents and a healthy relationship with their fathers. It's not a trend you can throw on like new makeup, either you are or you aren't. The real traditional wives are too busy to make TikTok videos. Traditional wives don't need the constant attention of strange men online from all over the world to make them feel validated over social media. This is because traditional wives get that validation from their husbands and their children. And it goes both ways. Men have to learn their wives need money to run the family, food, clothing, and other household needs for everyone. Feminism was originally about equality of opportunity between the genders. Now it's about a hive mindset. Modern women think like one. Whatever the trend is and whatever modern women around the world are doing automatically becomes something that all of them have to do. Otherwise, they won't be seen as the strong, independent boss babes they think they are. The whole idea of feminism was that women were encouraged to choose whatever role they wanted. If they wanted to enter the workspace, great. If they wanted to be traditional wives, great. If they wanted to balance both, that's great too. Why don't people just get on with their own lives and be the best they can be? So, it's really not justifiable for modern women to be hating on trad wives and believe that they're not doing modern women any favors by being traditional. I guess this is where feminism went wrong when it comes to traditional women, because even though it started as a movement that empowered women to do whatever they wanted, which included being traditional, it is now encouraging women to not be trad wives and instead choose the corporate life. This is part of the flaw I originally saw in feminism. The whole taking away women's decisions to be a traditional type of girl thing is ridiculous. Not all women want to have careers or compete with guys. Taking care of the kids and the house was always an equal trade according to men. Nearly every traditional wife I have ever seen has been happy. Up until the point that she was influenced by feminism. That is the point where traditional wives become unhappy because they think having a career is better. However, what goes unsaid, these career-working feminists are usually very unhappy and divorced, and men don't take them seriously. Only simps takes these women seriously, and the feminists don't like dating simps either. What I don't understand from career-oriented women in the Western world is why bring those titles and bossiness at home. At home you have a partner and children that you have to raise and nurture. Taking care of the family would make the family much more solid in the long run. Even if you look at statistics, that's what happens. Women having a career is great, but don't bring home that boss in you at home. You are a mom and a partner to your husband. You should be working together, not bossing each other. Each one has roles. I think that's why most men are trying to marry in Asia now, because not only are they traditional even when they have extremely successful careers at home, but they leave all those titles at the door and be wives and moms to their families as a top priority. Guys, as I've said before, we need to remodel society because the dynamics in place at this point in time aren't working. We need to go with our own natures and be happy with who we are. The men being the breadwinners who respect and love their wives for keeping the children happy, and the wives for being a partner for life, and someone that the man can depend on for intimacy, traveling, adventure, food, and raising a family. Today, modern women get applauded for being members of the OnlyFans platform, stripping themselves in front of thousands of strangers online, and being attacked for wanting to be stay-at-home wives. Modern women today love seeing themselves as these strong and independent women, but can't stand trad wives and resort to calling them out as if they were being forced to be traditional. It's not like these strong, independent boss babes are happy with their lives. They're miserable. Sure, they make money and have a career, but they lack the one thing that truly creates purpose in life: having a family. The thing about modern women is that these women need you to like them for them, but they will like a guy for what he has. They could never deal with their type of love if they were to swap their reality for men's reality. They would absolutely not like it, and would demand to have back their shallow existence. So it's quite a shocker when you see feminists getting triggered about women being traditional wives. If you look around society, you will see many extremes. On one side, you will find your regular Karens feminists who are strong, independent boss babes who don't need any man. On the other side, you will find women who wholeheartedly believe in being traditional, which means they believe in family values, taking care of the house and the kids, and living a contented life without having to worry about receiving money from strangers online. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support, so please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.